My name is Ruby, and this is a story that still echoes in my mind like it happened yesterday. Sometimes life does not hurt. You with strangers, sometimes it is the people. You know, the people who smile in your face that cut the deepest? You will see what I mean. It all began when I was labeled something I never imagined: a bad influence. That word spread around like wildfire. Whispers behind my back, stares that lingered too long, and even judgment from people who once called me their friend. She is trouble. Stay away from her. She will ruin your life. Those were the things they said about me. But here is the irony: while they spread those rumors, while they painted me as this villain in their story, I was the very person who held them up when their world was falling apart. It started with Marissa. She was my closest friend, at least I thought so. Her family adored me once. I used to spend weekends at her house, helping her with assignments late night. Talks about dreams and heartbreaks, but when she started dating Ryan, something shifted. Suddenly, every time she got into trouble, every time she lied to her parents, she used me as her excuse. I was with Ruby. Ruby suggested it. Ruby made me. Her parents believed her, and overnight their trust in me collapsed. I remember walking into their house one Saturday expecting a normal afternoon hangout. Instead, her mother looked me up and down with disgust. She did not even greet me. Her father muttered under his breath, "Bad influence." At first I thought I misheard, but no, I did not. The worst part, Marissa did not defend me. She sat there, quiet, eyes downcast, letting them believe I was the root of her mistakes. And from that day forward, I became their scapegoat. But it did not stop there. Because once one family believed it, others followed. The whispers spread through school. Teachers started giving me side eyes. Parents told their kids not to hang out with me. Even people I barely spoke to seemed to know the truth about me. Truth, no, it was nothing but a lie, dressed up as convenience. And yet here is the part that makes me laugh. The part that makes the word bad. Influence so twisted. Do you know who they came running to when their secrets were too heavy to carry me? Ruby. The same girl they accused. The same girl they pushed aside. The same girl they mocked behind closed doors. I was the one who sat with Marissa when Ryan broke her heart and she cried so hard she could not breathe. I was the one who lent her money when she was too embarrassed to tell her parents she had spent all of hers. And it was not just her. Another girl, Lila, once called me reckless. But when she was drowning in problems, at home, her parents fighting, her grades slipping, she came to me whispering, "Please, Ruby, do not tell anyone." I listened. I guided her. I told her she was not alone, but did that change what people said about me? No. In fact, it almost got worse. Because now I was not just a bad influence, I was too involved in people's problems. People twisted my kindness into something dark, something manipulative. Ruby always knows too much. Do not trust her. She will use it against you. Careful, she likes drama. The audacity, the lies, the ungratefulness. At first, I tried to fight it. I defended myself. I told people the truth, that I was not the one dragging others into trouble. I was the one pulling them out of it. But no one listened. In fact, it almost made things worse, because the more you try to deny something, the more people believe it must be true. So I stopped talking. I stayed quiet. I let them gossip, let them point, let them laugh. I let them believe I was the bad one. But while they were busy tearing me down, I was watching, listening, waiting. Because here is what they did not know every time. They whispered in the shadows. Every time they confided in me, every time they trusted me with their darkest secrets. I remembered Marissa cheating on her boyfriend even while she cried about Ryan. I remembered Lila lying to her parents about money she never paid back. I remembered the boys who called me toxic but begged me not to expose what they did at parties. They underestimated me. They thought I was weak. They thought I would stay quiet forever. But here's the thing about being called a bad influence. Once you have been pushed that low, once you have been trampled on so many times, you realize you have nothing left to lose. And when you have nothing left to lose, that is when people should be afraid of you. Because I was not just going to clear my name, I was going to show every single one of them who I really was. And when the truth came out, when there are carefully built images, crumbled, the ones who called me a bad influence would be the ones exposed for who they really were. So sit back, because this story, it is not just about betrayal, it is about patience. About revenge served slow and silent. About how the girl everyone underestimated became the one they feared most. And trust me, you do not want to miss how it all unfolded. Oh, and before I take you deeper into this story, if you have ever been in a situation where people judged you unfairly, or if you enjoy stories of betrayal and ultimate revenge, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That way you will always have a place where your voice is heard, your pain is understood, and your story matters. Now let us begin. The whispers did not stop. In fact, they only grew sharper, crueler. By now, the label bad influence was not just a rumor, it was my identity. In their eyes, and the thing about gossip, it travels faster than truth. I remember walking down the school hallway one morning. Two girls leaned against the lockers pretending not to look at me. But I heard them. Oh, I heard every word. That is her right, the one everyone says ruins friendships? Yeah, my mom said to stay away from her. Apparently she is the reason Marissa's parents almost kicked her out. Wow, and she looks so normal. Crazy how people like that hide in plain sight. They giggled as if I were invisible, but I was not invisible. I was listening, storing it all away. And the irony, Marissa herself was walking right behind me, pretending she was not part of the mess she created. She would not even make eye contact. That stung more than I expected. Then came the boys, the so-called popular ones who pretended to be untouchable. They would smirk when I passed by. They would say things loud enough for me to hear. She probably keeps a list of everyone's secrets. Yeah, she is like poison. Get too close and you are finished. Careful, man, she will ruin your life. The hypocrisy was almost laughable because these same boys, they were the ones sneaking off to parties, making mistakes that would destroy their reputations if the truth ever came out. And guess who knew about it? Me. But still, I kept quiet. I kept my head down. I let the world believe their lies. Until the day everything shifted. It was at a house party, one of those big ones where half the neighborhood showed up. I did not even want to go. But something inside me whispered that I needed to be there. That maybe this was the night the truth would start to unravel. I walked in and almost immediately the whispers began. Eyes darted toward me. People moved closer to each other, lowering their voices, pretending not to look. There she is. Can you believe she showed up? I bet she is here to stir drama. I ignored them. But then I heard Marissa's voice. And that was different. She was standing in the kitchen surrounded by a group of people. She laughed, her voice dripping with false confidence. Honestly, I do not even know why I was ever friends with Ruby. My life is so much better without her dragging me down. Lila chimed in, her words sharp and cruel. Same, she always made everything about herself. Toxic energy. You know, I feel lighter since I stopped hanging out with her. The group laughed. Someone added, she is probably eavesdropping right now. That is all she knows how to do. And that is when something inside me shifted. I was not hurt anymore. I was not angry either. I was calm, cold. Like I had finally crossed a line in my mind. They wanted to paint me as the villain, fine. But I was not going to be their scapegoat anymore. I was going to be the storm they never saw coming. Because while they laughed, I remembered Marissa sneaking out at night, lying to her parents about studying at my house. I remembered Lila crying on my floor, confessing things she swore no one else would ever hear. I remembered every secret, every mistake, every hidden truth they buried in me, and unlike them, I did not need to shout. I did not need to spread rumors. All I needed was patience. The first crack in their facade came sooner than I expected. A week later, Marissa's parents showed up at school. Apparently, someone had slipped an anonymous note into their mailbox, a note that revealed Marissa's late-night rendezvous with Ryan, the boy she swore she had not seen in months. Her mother stormed through the hallway, face red with fury. How could you lie to us, Marissa? After everything we have done for you, Marissa stuttered, denied it, but it was too late. The evidence was there, pictures, dates, times, and the whispers shifted. Suddenly, it was not me people were talking about. It was her. She has been sneaking out. Did not she blame Ruby for that? Wow, so maybe Ruby was not the problem after all. I did not say a word. I just walked by silent while Marissa's world cracked open. But it was not just her. Soon after, Lila's secret came tumbling out too. Her parents discovered she had stolen money from them. At first, she tried to blame me, of course. Ruby told me to borrow it. Ruby said it was fine. But this time, no one believed her. The look on her parents' faces said it all. Disappointment, betrayal, and the whispers. They were louder than ever. Did not she used to say Ruby was the bad influence? Looks like Ruby was the only one keeping her together. Wow, maybe we had it all wrong. Piece by piece, their lies unraveled. One by one, their masks slipped. And for the first time in months, people were not whispering about me. They were whispering about them. But I was not done, not even close. Because the boys who mocked me, the ones who called me poison, they had their own skeletons. And trust me, those secrets were about to surface too. Because here's the thing about gossip, it cuts both ways. And if you live by lies, you will eventually be destroyed by the truth. And I was the truth. By the time winter settled in, the school hallways had transformed. The whispers no longer followed me, they followed them. Marissa walked with her head down, now avoiding eye contact. Lila stuck close to new people, desperate to rebuild her reputation. And the boys who mocked me, they had their own cracks showing, and soon everyone would see the truth. It started one morning when I overheard two teachers talking near the staff lounge. "Did you hear about Jason and Mark?" one whispered. The other nodded, frowning, caught cheating on their exams. Can you imagine? They blamed Ruby, but now look. My heart almost laughed. Jason and Mark. Two of the loudest voices who called me poison were now the ones under fire, and it was not just exams. Their secrets stretched wider. Parties, drinking, lies to their parents. Soon pictures surfaced, screenshots of texts, proof they could no longer deny. And once again, the whispers grew. Were not they the ones who said Ruby was trouble? Wow, they look like the real troublemakers now. Guess karma does not miss. I did not release every secret. I did not have to, just enough for the truth to show. Just enough for the world to see who they really were without me shielding them. And as each lie collapsed, something incredible happened. People began looking at me differently. At first it was cautious. Maybe Ruby was not the problem. Then it was curious. How did she stay so quiet all this time? And eventually it was respect. One afternoon, a girl I barely knew came up to me in the library. Her voice was soft, almost nervous. "Hey, I just wanted to say I believed the things they said about you, but seeing everything. Now I realize you were the only one holding them together. You did not deserve what they did to you." I looked at her for a long moment before replying, "Thank you." It was the simplest word, but it carried all the weight of months of silence. And just like that, the tide shifted. But the real moment came at the spring assembly. The entire school gathered, teachers and parents in the audience. Principal Hartley stood at the podium, his voice steady as he addressed the crowd. "We have seen a lot this year, rumors, accusations, friendships broken. But we have also seen the truth come to light, and sometimes the person we label as the problem turns out to be the one holding others accountable." His eyes landed on me for just a second. And in that moment, the entire room turned. Everyone's gaze followed his. Marissa and Lila sat in silence, their faces pale. Jason and Mark slumped in their seats, shame written across their expressions. And me, I did not gloat, I did not smirk. I just sat still, calm, with the quiet dignity they tried so hard to take from me. Because my revenge was not about shouting. It was not about proving I was better. It was about standing firm until their own lies destroyed them. After the assembly, I walked through the hallways, and for the first time in months, there were no whispers. No laughter, no mocking stares. Just silence and a kind of respect I had never felt before. But here's the thing. Revenge gave me a moment of satisfaction, but the real victory was clarity. I realized I did not need their approval. I did not need their friendship. I did not even need their apologies. I had survived their betrayal, I had endured their gossip. And I had come out stronger, not because of them, but in spite of them. In the end, the lesson was simple. People will lie. They will gossip. They will try to bury you under their insecurities. But the truth has a way of breaking through no matter how deep it is buried. And when it does, those who mocked you, who betrayed you, who tried to destroy, you will be left standing in the wreckage of their own making. So if you are ever painted as the villain when you know your heart is clean, do not waste your breath trying to convince everyone. Let the truth reveal itself. Let their lies collapse under their own weight. Because silence can be the loudest revenge of all.